Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show. CNIB Lake Joe is celebrating its 60th anniversary this summer, and things may look a little bit different this year. Festivities are still taking place, both virtually and in person, with precautions in place. Here to tell you more is Sherri Helsdingen, the manager of community engagement for CNIB Lake Joe, and Sherri joins us from on Skype from Barrie, Ontario. A lot of details to share there. Hey, Sherri, great to have you on the program. Thank you for making time.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. What a pleasure.
So, Sherri, let's start with sort of the vegetables here. Unfortunately, a lot of camps took a hit over the course of the last year due to the pandemic. How did it impact Lake Joe?
Yeah, last year we were ready to go. We had programs filling up, staff were recruited, ready to go. And when we're in a pandemic, camps are closed. It was devastating news, to be honest. And it was really hard for our camp community to hear. But you do what you have to do. We put our heads together and we developed a virtual program called CNIB Lake Joe at Home so that our camp community could continue to stay connected. We know that social isolation is a huge issue for a lot of our guests and campers. And, we were off to the races. We started with 2 programs and over the period of the summer expanded to a curriculum of 26 programs. We had, like hundreds of people registering for multiple programs. It was awesome.
So that was obviously the way it's been impacted over the course of the last year, but the legacy and history of Lake Joe goes back a long way. And as mentioned, it's the 60th anniversary, a major, major milestone. What has the camp offered the community over all these decades?
Yeah, I think, our goal is to provide people with sight loss and their families with a place where they can experience the same sorts of pleasures and pursuits as every Canadian. Come to CNIB Lake Joe, you can canoe, you can kayak, water ski, you can have any type of experience you want. For many people, and we have about 700 guests come each year, people with sight loss, people who are deaf-blind. This is, the only place, it is the only fully accessible camp in Canada for people with sight loss. And it's often the place where people, over those 60 years, have their first experience meeting others with sight loss. I think there's that recognition that I'm not alone and seeing what other people with sight loss can achieve. I think it really sort of causes a mindset shift for people about what they can do and what they want to do in terms of fulfilling their own dreams and goals. We know that over the years, there have been countless friendships formed. Lots of people have met their significant others. There are actually generations of families who have been attending Lake Joe or working at Lake Joe. It's also, Lake Joe's been a real jumping off point for people who are sort of starting education paths, changing careers. It's fun, but there's also that confidence building and sort of dream setting piece at Lake Joe.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate while working for AMI to go on the grounds of Lake Joe a few times for remote broadcasts, as well as some short documentaries and other pieces that we produced over the years, which has been fantastic. Sherri, I can't even do it justice on how beautiful the grounds are, being legally blind myself, but I'm curious if you can give us just a bit of a general description of what's on the grounds and what the grounds of Lake Joe are like.
Yeah, so we refer to CNIB Lake Joe as being a piece of paradise in Muskoka, Ontario. So we have 12.5 acres of property in Muskoka. I see these beautiful pictures now of the lake. That's one of the things that's really unique about Lake Joseph. We have a long, sandy shoreline. So many experiences in the water, canoeing, kayaking, water skiing, water tubing, where water's concerned. There's a brand new water slide and people love it. So yes, pontoon, ice cream, boat rides. Yeah, lots and lots of fun. If you're more of a land lover, there's lots of space for walking the boardwalk, hikes. There's a scenic gazebo. We have, if you're an active person, we have a multi-sport court, a brand new climbing tower, brand new soccer pitch, golf course, mini golf course. So there's just so much to do, no matter what your interests. I think it's really important, though, to point out that over 60 years, the guest cabins have changed a lot. So we have 96 guest beds in 6 cabins, and I think the best part about it is that each of the rooms has its own ensuite bath with showers, hot water, water pressure. That's sort of a bit of glamping, I guess, nowadays.
Which was much appreciated for the couple nights that I spent there working on the grounds. I definitely liked having a
Right.
warm water after taking a dip in the lake. Also very happy our TV technical producer Bruce was showing some beautiful images of the lake there, and he did not find the B-roll of me jumping in with my shirt off. So that's very positive that Bruce was unable to find that footage. Sherri, this year's celebration for the 60th anniversary is taking on the theme of warm memories, bright future. How is the CNIB going to be reflecting these 60 years?
Yeah, so 60 years, we're young, but we're mature. We've really been looking, past and present, focusing a lot on our campers from the past and present, and trying to um, sort of draw together all of those memories, those transformational experiences, the friendships made, the achievements that people have had. We did this year launch our first ever official alumni program, welcoming back staff and volunteers from the 60s to today, because it's really the work of our campers and past and present staff members who have dreamed big and, done a lot of the heavy lifting to get us to this point. And we're also celebrating, of course, our donors, our supporters, our partners who have made our past so fabulous and are also making it possible for us to invest in that bright future and expanding our programs and expanding our facilities.
Sherri, you were so kind to send us a number of black and white photos. We've shown a few so far of people on the grounds of the camp as well as the entrance sign, but there's one photo that's particularly interesting of the paddle boats. Can you give us a bit of a description of this photo and what this paddle boat looks like?
Yeah, I'll do my best. So this is a fun black and white photo circa 1962. Shows a young boy sitting on top of what I'm going to call a paddle boat apparatus called the Comradette 62. That's painted on the side. So the paddle boat is being launched from the shore of Lake Joe by 2 women in lovely bathing suits. There are 2 metal benches on top of this floating platform, and there's on these benches a handlebar of sorts and some bicycle pedals. This young boy is straddling the one bench, and one of the women, it looks like she's about to step on and join him on the side bench. So all I can say is that we have certainly come a long way with our paddle boat technology.
Yeah, I know one of the big events that typically takes place when campers get there is a chance to row a paddle boat together collectively, working on teamwork, which is really, really cool to see as well when you're on site. So for the anniversary, there's a number of events, and there's one that focuses on philanthropy called Dock to Dock. What can be expected from this fundraiser, and where are the proceeds going?
Yes, so so we work with a fabulous team of volunteers, our CNIB Muskoka fundraising team. This year we're partnering with the Antique and Classic Boat Society of Toronto for our second physically distanced fundraising event. So this year, Saturday, August 14th, we will be in the water for our Dock to Dock poker run. So people register their boats or their jet skis or whatever you've got that floats. You can also register online. People on the water get a free poker hand to start, and they go along a prearranged route in Lake Joseph, Lake Rousseau, Lake Muskoka, and at each stop pick up an extra poker card. So there's sort of forces people around the lake. At each stop, there's entertainment, celebrities. It's going to be fun for the whole family. It's not a race. We really want to be, safe and respectful of our neighbors. But at the end, the person with the best poker hand wins. The boat team wins. But everybody's going to win no matter what. It's going to be fun. People, when they register, it's a $50 registration fee, which gets you that starter poker hand and a snack bag and the chance to participate. But we're really asking people in their teams to help us fundraise. The goal for this event is to raise $200,000. And what we want to fundraise for is adaptive sports equipment and independent living skills equipment for a brand new facility, a recreation and teaching facility that we want to have on Lake Joe to expand our programming even further.
Wow, sounds like a wonderful day on the lake. Absolutely. There's also a new program called Holiday Weeks. What kind of holiday are we talking about here?
Oh man, the best holiday ever for folks who just can't wait to get back to Lake Joe, and I think that's most of us. Last year when the pandemic started, we launched CNIB Lake Joe at Home virtual programs. We thought we'd be out of the woods by now. We're not. And nothing is more important than, safety of our guests and our staff and volunteers. So this year we're hosting Holiday Weeks. And Holiday Weeks, there's 3 weeks that start August 2nd and run until August 21st, where people with sight loss and their families, people from the same household, can travel together to Lake Joe and really have more of an independent, self-directed experience at Lake Joe. So instead of the regular, camp programming, people can enjoy Lake Joe and all of its amenities and facilities, signing up for the pontoon boat ride that they want, taking the canoe out when they wish. A lot of our meals are going to be al fresco, so there'll be outdoor dining. So all of the magic of camp, all the wonderful things about nature and Lake Joe, because we'll have as much as possible outdoors. But just with that little bit of a twist this year. So
oh my gosh.
We're super, super excited to be able to do this.
Oh, sounds good to me, having been trapped in North York for the majority of the pandemic. That sounds like a little bit of fresh air that I could use. One more question to ask you here, and it feels weird that me on an AMI show is asking you a question about an AMI program, but AMI is going to be involved in the celebration with a special documentary called Ripples, CNIB Lake Joe. Who's featured in the doc, and when can we catch it?
Right. So, and I just want to say a little shout out to AMI because it was in the spring when AMI staff reached out to us asking if we would be involved in producing this documentary for our 60th anniversary. And of course, we were thrilled. AMI has been such a great supporter, and I want to thank AMI actually for being a sponsor of our Dock to Dock poker run event that we were just chatting about. This documentary is called Ripples, and it's meant, again, to look at the past and the present. And we have, in this documentary, interviewed over 40 of our members of our camp community. So campers and guests, volunteers, staff, donors, really having that opportunity to capture those personal stories, those memories, and reflect forward. Like, here's where we've come, and here's where we're all imagining ourselves going in the future. 60 years, man, that's not even the halfway point, right? We want to keep the magic of camp going forever and ever. So we're all going to be tuning in. I believe it's August 6th at 8 p.m. To watch it when it airs on AMI TV. And our team's super excited to be hosting some viewing parties online.
Oh, fun.
And probably on site during our holiday weeks.
Oh, right on. Hey, Sherri, it's been such a nice time chatting with you today. Congratulations on this big milestone. I hope the celebrations go swimmingly and fantastically. And hopefully we can get back on site soon to do a remote broadcast at the next beer and clam bake next year. Hopefully we can get that going. So thank you for making time to be with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
That was Sherri Helsdingen, the Manager of Community Engagement for CNIB Lake Joe. For more information, you can visit cnib.ca/Lake Joe. That's an easy one, cnib.ca/Lake Joe. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen.